Good morning to you. Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com here. Hurricane Outlook and discussion time. Monday morning. Yep, Monday morning now, August 3rd, 2020. And we're going to talk about Tropical Storm Isaias here. Almost a hurricane, forecast to become a hurricane. And we are really going to address this in the now, for the most part, with a little bit of a look ahead, as this is getting ready to make landfall later tonight in North Carolina or South Carolina, and then it's going to move up through the Carolinas, into the Mid-Atlantic, and into New England, and into Atlantic Canada. Wow, what a saga this has been. So the 5 o'clock advisory, 70 miles per hour still, pressure down to 994, and it's moving north now at 9 miles per hour. So if it's moving due north, and let's look at the public advisory, and this will tell us what the actual compass heading is. So present movement is 355 degrees. So that's just slightly west of due north. It's 5 degrees off of due north. Does that make sense if you know a compass? But it's basically due north. So it's at the longitude now of 79.9. So it's not going to get any further to the west to speak of. And it should start going more east here in the next several hours. So keep an eye on that bearing there. That's what we call that. And let's turn this off. There we go. And the bearing, once it gets to maybe 0 or 10 degrees, 15 degrees or whatever, once it starts going right of the compass or east of the due north, then we know it's going to be closing in more on North Carolina. And that's what matters here. Where is it going to make landfall? Where's the center going to come in? Where are the strongest bands, etc.? Well, that's still too soon to know because we don't know what kind of organization it's going to have. If we look at the satellite imagery here, that's kind of strange looking. Wouldn't you say? It looks like it almost transitioned from something that had some banding. Now it looks like some kind of an embryo or something. Seriously, it's very, very strange. This little dry area over here, I have no idea. I'm done trying to figure Isaias out for now. All right, we'll come back to the satellite in a minute. Real quick on the hazards affecting land. Storm surge in here now up to 3 to 5 feet from South Santee River, South Carolina, up to Cape Fear, North Carolina. You definitely want to read this area right here in the public advisory. Please do so, because storm surge could be a problem. We could get some overwash, dune erosion, pier damage, walkway damage, and if you're not careful, it can sweep you away. A lot of people still down at the beach. You know, they had some mandatory evacuations here and there, but they're not like dragging people out or anything. So please, if you're at the beach, common sense should prevail. Hurricane conditions, that's certainly a possibility. And then tropical storm conditions, which means 39 miles per hour or higher, will be spreading northward from Florida, some places in Florida, maybe, up into southern New England. In fact, I think you're going to see more in southern New England than we ever saw in Florida. It's just the nature of the beast here. Right there, that's the paragraph I'm talking about. But again, I talk about this a lot. It's lengthy, but the public advisory, that's a great thing to take a look at, and it helps you understand the hazards, the what's happening right now, and so forth and so on. So again, it was really starting to ramp up there. It developed that band, but now, who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. But, you know, it's moving up towards the Carolinas here. You know, it could make landfall somewhere near Georgetown and vicinity, somewhere over here. It might make landfall up near Myrtle Beach. It could be a little bit farther to the east, maybe Ocean Isle Beach or Holden Beach in Brunswick County. Hard to say, for sure. But the center of circulation, wherever the heck it is in here, that doesn't matter so much with this system. And why does that not matter, at least right now? Because it's not a well-developed ring of convection. You remember, if you've seen what the eye of, or an eye wall of a major hurricane looks like, that well-developed donut, this doesn't have that. It's probably going to be some curved bands here and there. It's just disheveled. So the center making landfall for the time being is not really relevant for the most part. It's not like that's the core of the worst action near that center. It's probably still going to be off to the east of the center, where these bands set up that kind of come in towards the coast. And we can take a look at that in a moment on the latest. We'll look at the HWRF and see if that has rendered out yet on Tropical Tidbits in just a moment. Anyway, the satellite imagery, it's just, it comes and goes. A lot of lightning in there earlier, those little white speckles. And now it's kind of dying away. Maybe there's some dry air that got pulled into it. I don't know. It's just one of the most bizarre setups I have seen in a long, long time. Water temperatures, well, that's not the problem. It's moving over 29 degrees Celsius water. Excuse me. I've been talking and going way too much. Time to get a nap. I should have brought my water in here. But otherwise, I feel good. Don't worry about me. Seriously, I feel great. Lots of energy, just physically tired. So it's coming over very warm water temperatures. That's not the issue. But dry air that maybe still is getting advected maybe from the west into the system off the continent. Maybe that's one of the issues. And that's good. That way it's not rapidly intensifying. I mean, I think we can all agree to that. You know, hurricanes and tropical storms are inherently an interesting weather feature. They are inherently exciting, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're good. They do serve a purpose in nature, but anyhow, it's nice to see that it's not rapidly intensifying and catching a lot of people off guard. Hopefully, it'll remain that way. Speaking of, I mean, look, come on. The impacts here, I just can't remember. It's been a long time. Maybe Donna in 1960, if we had the internet back then. But look at all of, and what I'm talking about is the watches and warnings all the way up to Canada. The entire east coast of the United States is under some kind of advisory or watch or warning, maybe with the exception of Eastport, Maine up here. Whoops, I don't know why it's doing that. It's being silly. Maybe with the exception of Eastport, Maine is the only, yeah, my pointer's just being all goofy on me. That's the only area that might not be under the watch or the warning. Let's click on that, see if this will work. Come on, help me. Yeah, it looks like Eastport and Bar Harbor. I mean, they do have some hazardous weather outlook, but that's about it. Anyway, point is, this system meaning business for a lot of people all the way up the eastern seaboard here. As you can see through there, this is just being squirrely with me, so I better just finish up here and get over to this. And actually, I was going to show you the cams that I've got set up. Sorry, I'm tired trying to get through this. These are the cams we've got set up for our crowdfunding group. This is what you have access to. I've got 6 out of the 8 slots filled, and everywhere from my vehicle cam there in the left-hand corner, Ocean Isle Beach, a couple of them on Oak Island, still down on Vero Beach, and Marineland in Florida, where the conditions will certainly improve today. And this little digital dashboard page also has the radar for North Carolina, and my Twitter feed is in there. And then we have our chatting crowdfunding people. Very good group of folks helping out, not only with funding everything, but the helping each other. It's just a really, really neat thing. Just real quick on this, and I think that my software, yeah, it's just being goofy. It's got a glitch. Hey, look, bottom line here, let me just talk to you instead of at you for a second. If you're in the swath there where all of this is heading, I mean, we talk about this often. Please respect the fact that this is going to have some big impacts for some people. You know, it's not a major hurricane coming in. I know that. But it's going to have, I mean, every one of these is different. That's the way you need to look at this. No two storms are the same. And this will have some kind of a legacy. We don't know what it is yet. As we say, that story, the ending of that story has not been written just yet. So from South Carolina, probably from the Low Country, Charleston vicinity, on up to Maine and Atlantic Canada over the next 2 to 3 days, you're going to have to deal with possible hurricane conditions, rough seas, squally weather, power outages in some areas, heavy rain, flooding, storm surge along the coast, busted up piers and docks, whatever, right? And it's going to spread across a huge area of the East Coast. So it's a big deal. It's a big weather event, high impact, even if it's just a Category 1 hurricane at some point, or if it never makes it and it's a 70-mile-per-hour tropical storm. Mark my words, put it down, it's going to have big impacts all the way up into some major population centers. So I'm counting on you guys to use common sense here and talk about it on social media. Hey, Mark was talking about this. We got to pay attention to it, and just be smart. That's all I'm asking you to do, is to be smart. I have been in over 20-something hurricanes, numerous other tropical storms, and I've, knocked on wood here, or plastic, never had a problem. And that's because I'm smart. Doesn't mean I'm invincible. Not saying that. I'm just smart so far. So good. And I want you guys to do the same. All right? So just say hi one more time. I'm going to get a nap because clearly I need it. But I wanted to brief you on what was going on. A couple of more points of advice here before I roll out and get in the bed. Use weather.gov, weather.gov. Put your zip code in. You can look at radar, current conditions, hazards, anything in red there, read it. Good radar app is called RadarScope. I am not affiliated with them in any way. I don't get any kickbacks. It's a $10 app, I do believe, and it is fantastic. If you don't have it, I highly recommend that you get it. That's what it looks like right there. It kind of shows up. It pinpoints your location. It does animation. And it costs money, but it's well worth it. It's on iOS and Android. Get it, or a free one, whatever. Make sure you have something, because tornadoes could be coming in. Flood warnings. These apps now, these good radar apps, will tell you where those warnings are. So either RadarScope or something else. And keep on top of this thing, all right? And what else? If you do get the power out, remember, please don't run your generator if you've got one anywhere near your house or in your house. You keep it outside and well ventilated, and keep stuff away from it so it doesn't catch on fire. We just have to be smart. That's all. We can outsmart the weather and just kind of go with the flow if we just use our brains. All right? So that's it for me. I'm going to go get a nap. I'm on Twitter. I'm on YouTube. You see that there. And, of course, we are supported by our patrons on Patreon. And with that, I'm going to go and get some sleep. When I get up in a few hours, I'll head back out, set up a few more camera systems. I will be tweeting and posting information throughout the day and into the night. And I can't wait for you to join with me. And, of course, the live stream from the vehicle. That's always going to be available free of charge for everybody because our patrons help make it happen. So, yeah, tune in on YouTube to the live stream from the vehicle. And after my nap, I'll take you out in it and I'll show you what's happening. All right? Have a good rest of your Monday morning. Thanks for listening to me and watching and all of that good stuff. I'm Mark Sudduth, getting ready to take a nap for HurricaneTrack.com. I'll talk to you later in the day.